Hey, it's BT with the Australian GP BT review. And this is going to be a little long because I actually went to the GP. So just brace yourselves, okay? I took the trip, went down to Phillip Island, and so I'm going to talk about that and the GP review. So let's get it on. Ain't no sense in waiting. Anyway. Man, that's a long ass trip. Props to the GP, right? These three flyaways, I don't know how those guys do it. They deserve a lot of credit. I know our athletes, football players, bitch about they have to fly from the East Coast to the West Coast, or West Coast to the East Coast. Wing, wing, wing. 4 hours. Oh, 4 hours. Try flying. I did what? 14? I think 16 hours, 14 hours. And then those guys, they do in their 3 weeks in a row. They go like 13 hours for. I don't know how they do it. They deserve a lot of credit. They don't get the credit they deserve because man, I was tired. And they still have to get on a motorcycle and go 200 miles an hour. So props to those guys. I don't know how they do it. A lot of what's that pill that I took? I actually bought a pill. It's I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the GP review. First of all, man, it was cold. I hate. Listen to me. Listen to me. There's a lot of things in life I hate. Okay? I don't like racism. I hate cold weather. I hate cold weather. That's how much I was miserable this weekend. I mean, I loved it. Thursday was great. I was like, yay, Thursday was great. And then Friday, I don't know what happened. Somebody must have killed a goat and then pissed on his burial ground. Whatever. It was freezing cold and the wind was whipping. And man, honestly, I don't know how those guys do it. If that was me, if I was racing, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a pussy. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a pussy. I would have came in with a doctor's note and said, hey, look, my mama said I can't race because I might get a cold because, so I can't really race. That, or I got some long underwear, some thermals, a thermal underwear, a scarf. All I got is a racing scarf. Put a scarf here, just look like Tom Brady, and some UGG racing boots. Oh, my feet would have been warm. Get some UGG racing boots and a scarf. How great would that be going down the Gardner Strait with your scarf in the wind and people going, does he really have a scarf on? This guy is a fucking fruitcake. Anyway, I was freezing cold. The people were great. I didn't know anything about going to Australia. I was like, I had to always keep an open mind. And the people were great, man. They were just really nice to me. As always, I think the motorcycle racing community is great. They were awesome. And if I can compare it to anything in the United States, it's like being in West Virginia, but with water. It's like being in West Virginia, well, with the beach. Basically, is what Melbourne and Phillip Island is. If you've been in West Virginia, you know what I'm talking about. Nice people, great people. Anyway, it was cold. You know how they say, they have a dry race, wet race. They should have had a winter race. This should have been the winter GP is what it should have been. Seriously, they should put snow tires on the bikes. That's how cold it was. Especially Moto 3. Moto 3 was a crash fest, and that John McPhee wreck, this crash looked scary. He got ran over. Enea Bastianini got ran over. It looked really scary. I'm glad those guys are okay. But, I got to give props, man, to two people. First of all, Aaron Canet for getting a podium. He crashed out. He crashed. Luckily, that big crash happened the same lap he crashed. He crashed, was able to get back in the race and got a podium. He was in the middle of a 16-rider race for third place. 16 riders. 16 riders. It was incredible. Anyway, what he did was great. I feel sorry for Fabio Quartararo. He qualified second, and then his team screwed him, and by having the wrong ECU, and then so he had to start at the back of the field. He got up to second again, and then the crash happened, the red flag happened. Then he had to start back in the back again. He just got double screwed, man. It was like he got parole from prison. He got out, then he go, oh, you know what we forgot to do, and they made up some other charge. He had to go back in jail. That's what that was like. Anyway, so props to him. Props to Darren Bender for almost getting a podium. How great would that have been if he got a podium with his brother? Oh my God, how great would that have been? Two South Africans getting a first and a third. I mean, just two brothers getting a podium. Has that even happened before? I don't know if that's even happened. How awesome would that would have been, man? The two brothers getting a podium would have been great. But anyway, props to them. Props to like I said, props to, I think the rider of the race for me for Moto 3, and I didn't even mention Brad Bender. That dude's in a class by himself. That's why I'm not mentioning him. Brad Bender did the damn thing. But of course, Brad Bender's a man among boys. He's a man among boys. And I don't know if you guys know this, but if Brad Bender wins out the rest of the two races left, if he wins out, his pit crew has to shave their heads bald. Now, if he doesn't win out, he gets shaved bald. So that's a little bet they got going on. So I think it's great for Brad Bender. But Brad Bender's just a man among boys. And the rider of the race goes to Aaron Kennett. Like I said, he crashed out and still finished third. He still got a podium. You know what that's like? That's like that chick that gets pregnant in high school, and you think, she's done, and she finishes the same year. Like she comes to school pregnant, like halfway through the year. She comes to school pregnant, and she has the baby, and she still finishes the same year. Like, man, way to go, Tina. And she's like, I told you I could do it. Anyway, props to those guys, man. Moto 3 was good. Crash Fest, I'm glad everybody's okay. Let's move on to Moto 2. Moto 2 actually was the best racing of, I think the best race of the whole GP. It was cold, but let me tell you something. Thomas Luthi and Franco Morbidelli put on a great race. Morbidelli is coming on to the end of the year. I think he's one of the top 5 riders for the end of the year. Morbidelli's always in it. He's got to learn to manage his tires better, but Morbidelli, great job. How about Thomas Luthi, the Swiss assassin? You think Luthi's too nice? Psst. Luthi, is his first time in his career. He's won 2 back-to-back races, 2 weekends in a row. And by the way, has anybody seen Zarco? Because I haven't seen him. He finished 12th, but have you seen him? I don't know what's happened to Tight Shoes. Well, like, what's happened to Tight Shoes? I don't know. I don't. Anyway, 12th place. Now Luthi is in the hunt for the championship. Can you believe this? First, it looked like Lowe's was going to be in the hunt for the championship. He crashes out. Renz is still in it. And Renz crashed out 2 weeks in a row, and he's still in it. Moto 2 is crazy. So you got to love it. You got to love Moto 2. Props to Franco Morbidelli. He lost in I've watched that race 3 times. Thomas Luthi getting that slipstream. Oh, my God. I mean, it looked like, okay, it's over. Morbidelli's going to win. And he just got sucked up in it. What Luthi did was unbelievable. Props to him. To me, he gets rider of the race for him winning that and the way he did that slipstream. Because it looked like he was over. Coming to the Gardner Straight, it looked like he was over, and he got the slipstream, man, and he made one of the best. It was the best race of the weekend. Props to that guy. Props to Thomas Luthi. Props to Xavi Verhey. Xavi Verhey. Nobody knows him, and this guy finishes 10th. Man, he's a great racer. He's come on late. Nobody really knows him, but you watch next year he'll be in the running. Trust me. That's pretty much all. That's it for Moto 2. And props to Sandro Cortese, man. You gotta love Sandro. Good for that guy. He got a podium. He did a great job. Good for him. Props to him. But I give the rider of the race, Thomas Luthi, Moto 2. Moto GP. Let's get the GP. If you would have told me how the race would have finished, I'd have been like, yeah, right. I really thought it was going to be Marquez's race to lose. And, man, the qualifying, you couldn't base anything off of qualifying. They didn't have a dry qualifying session ever. What Marquez did was incredible. It was shitty weather. I was there. The weather was horrible. I mean, honestly, it felt like God had left everybody for like a weekend. Like, you know what, hey, guys, I got to deal with this stuff in the Middle East. You guys are on your own. And we're like, hey, what about the weather? He goes, I'll get back to you. And it was horrible weather. Marquez timed it perfectly. Every time he went out, he timed it perfectly. He didn't have an off. He looked strong. I thought, okay, Marquez is going to win it. Looked like he was taking off. And he crashed. The old Marquez showed up. He crashed. He went forward. He misjudged, and he crashed. That's the old Marquez. And I don't like anybody crashing. And I hated those people behind him when he crashed. They were cheering. Come on, man. And they had Rossi stuff on. Show some class, okay? Don't cheer when somebody crashes. I don't care if you like the guy or not like the guy. Never cheer when somebody crashes. It's horrible. Anyway, I got to give rider of the race to 2 people. Valentino Rossi and Maverick Vinales. Both of those guys, is a cold weather race always suits Vinales better. He's 13th, Rossi's 15th, and they both got podiums. I'm telling you, man, next year those two are going to be teammates. And I think Rossi's going to end up hating Vinales like he did Jorge, because Maverick is on the precipice of just exploding. He's having a great year now. I think next year is going to be even better. He's got to learn the bike and everything, but oh my God, you got to give it to Rossi. Say what you want about Rossi. All last year in Sepang and what he said, all that aside, he's still one of the best racers in the world. One of the top 3 racers in the world still. I mean, the guy, what he's doing is incredible. And consider that I'm older. an older man, and Rossi's older, I appreciate even more. I mean, granted, like he said, it's not a contact sport where you're playing football, you get hit, it's riding a motorcycle, but still, his reflexes have to be there. You still have to go for it. You're still going over 200 miles an hour, have to make split-second decisions, and what he's doing is incredible, and he still wants to get better. Rossi got a riding coach. He's a 9-time world champion. He's got a riding coach. He wants to get better. You can't beat this. Next year, MotoGP is going to be so much. Oh my God, it's going to be so much better than even this year. You got Iannoni's going to come back. Crazy Joe's coming back. Vinales on a Yamaha. You got Jorge Lorenzo. By the way, there's a missing persons report on Jorge. They should put Jorge Lorenzo on the back of milk cartons because I haven't seen that dude. Have you seen that dude? What has happened to him? Now, granted, I understand wet weather and he doesn't have a feeling with. I don't think he likes the Michelins. I really don't. I think it's like those forced marriages in other countries. I watched the movie. It was in Turkey. I think they go in India. They have like arranged marriages, and they fall in love eventually. Well, I think Jorge says the right things about Michelin, but I don't think he likes those tires. He had no feeling. And he got beat by a satellite riders. Paulo Spargo beat him. Jorge was never even in the ball game, man. It's weird to watch him like this. It's strange to watch Jorge just kind of, and granted, I know he's not lollygagging, but he's kind of like, la, 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 la. And that's like he's on a sunny drive, literally. He was by himself the whole race. It's weird to watch. I'd rather see him in the hunt. Last week was a fluke crash, but it was weird to watch him like this. But next year on a Ducati, new bike, it's going to be a new stimulus. Man, next year's going to be even better than this year. But even for this race, give it up to Cal Crutchlow. Cal said he liked his pace, and hey, he won. Oh, I can't take away from him. So props to Cal Crutchlow for doing the damn thing and winning his second race. Props to you. Gotta love Cal. And people talk crap about Cal next year. Cal might be you never know. He might be in a fight for the championship. Listen to me. If you have some races where there's crappy weather, hey, crappy weather evens it out. I mean, I know they don't like it. Nobody likes it, but it evens the field out. It's like having a fist fight. Say Mike Tyson walked in right now. Would I fight him? Hell no. I'd run like a scared little girl. But if I had a gun, I'd be like, what was that shit you was talking, Mike? It evens the circuit. It evens the playing field. So that's what weather races and bad weather races do. Cal Crutchlow, if he has weekends of bad weather and then he's consistent, you never know. I fell for Alicia Spargo. He rode a great race. He got caught up in that turn that takes everybody out. So I feel bad for him. See if I missed anything. I actually wrote some notes down, actually, because I didn't want to miss anything. Like I said, it was a good time. I had a great time there. Props to Cal Crutchlow. Props to Thomas Luthi. He's in the champ. He's, 25 points behind Zarco, and Renz is still in it. Oh, my God, it's getting great. And Sepang is this week. 3 straight weeks of great MotoGP action. If you're a geek like me, you got to love it. Props to Deb. Deb, it was nice to meet you. Mary Lee, all my GP fans that I met this week, know me from Facebook, thank you. Great to meet you guys. It was awesome. I hope you guys loved the Australian GP. I loved it. It was cold as hell, and I don't think I have any testicles anymore. They actually went up inside my body. As soon as I stepped out of my car on Friday, my testicles went, and I was like, hey, I was talking like Michael Jackson. Anyway, I had no testicles for the whole weekend. I was miserable, wet, and cold, but you know what? It's still GP, and it's still the love of my life. So anyway, thank you to people I met. If you're watching this for the first time, I know it's kind of long, but like I said, I don't give a shit. I love GP. I love the people I meet. Thank you guys so much for watching. Anyway, next week, it's going to be balls out again. It's the exact opposite. It's going to be hot and sweaty. I'm going to say it right now. I got Marquez Rossi battling out for the win. I'm going to say it right now. Marquez Rossi battling out for the win. And maybe Jorge. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's went way too long than I wanted to, even though it was going to go long. So anyway, thanks for watching. Great to meet you, GP fans. Thank you so much. And until then, you know the word. Boo.